I'm gonna film a little video talking about how I stack. Now this isn't necessarily the way that you should stack, but it's the way I do it. And everybody's on break, so I got the place to myself. So let's talk about it. So before I tell you about stacking the right way, or the way I do it, just want to say that learning how to stack and figuring out what way works for you is probably the most important skill that you can have while selecting. But not because of like, yes, it saves you a lot of time and makes it so that you can go a lot faster, but it just saves you so much mental energy and saves you from like just absolutely losing your mind in here. Because if you are like constantly thinking about where you're gonna put every item, how you're gonna have to reorganize it, like you're just gonna lose it. So there's a way that I do it every single time, and it's pretty simple. I think it's in the freezer, it's not too involved because you have a lot of the same items, which are mostly like these, which are French fries. So it makes it a little bit easier than any of the other ones, because one, you're not getting a lot of bags like cool or dry. Well, dry gets the flour bags, but you know, it's mostly all the same. Plus, if you get bulk items like this is nothing to worry about, really. Like, I can even just do this. But yeah, let me stay on topic. So to go down it really simply, I like to keep boxes like these. I call these 10s because you can fit 10 of them on the pallet. I like to keep these in the front. So in these spots, like right here, and then sideways in the middle. But just because in the back, I'm gonna put the long ones. Right, and that's just gonna be the way that you build up the entire freezer. The other thing to watch out for are the squares, and I just like to put those in the middle, just so you don't have to really worry about them. But that's pretty much the basic way of doing it. So check it out, like boom, one corner. Oops. Right? And then the second advice is that you want to keep the levels flat as much as possible, either in the front and in the back. So you want an even spot on the long ones, and you want an even spot on the 10s, because basically when you get down to the end aisles later in the run, it's going to be all bread, or at least bread's going to give you the most trouble with just how you're going to put it on your pallet. So if you keep those spots level, then it'll just save you a lot of hassle, because you can just pop it down right there. So that's another item right there that gets a little tricky. It's like, what are you gonna do with those buckets? Usually when you have any like weird items, just put them in the middle and they'll probably work out eventually. Those ones you can also put in the back corner. Just because they work for that spot. But yeah, if you usually think about five of those 10 boxes, the 10s boxes up front, just long stuff in the back, that'll pretty much get you through everything. And I like to do this with the, so if you get 4 of those boxes, either or, these are like, these go 9 across, but you can do it with the 10s as well. Is that will keep it so that you can put down, so if you get like multiple of the bread boxes that are the ones that will fit up here, you can basically just go boom, boom, boom with those. And you can just fit even more. Okay, so this one, you can either put it in the front, like that. You put it on the back. It all works. I'm just gonna put it on the back just because to save some space, but I gotta read ahead. That's another skill, but that's another video. That's another video I can do later. Or I can really just talk about it all in one. Because the stacking, it's pretty simple. Like once you get the reps in, like you just look at a box and you're like, all right, front corner. All right, that's gonna go in the middle. Okay, I know what to do with this one. And that's basically just how it goes. Like you don't even need to think about it when you get to a certain point. So like boom, 1, it goes into that corner. Boom, I got 2 of them. They're going up front in that spot that I'm keeping even, and etc. So yeah, that's basically stacking. Like stacking is pretty easy. In freezer, it's definitely way easier, but I mean, hey, you basically get to pick whatever department you go into. So if you really want easy stacking, you want to, you know, hit your rate, and you want to get the whatever extra money that they give you for going into the freezer, like by all means, I'm here for it. You just got to handle the cold. That's the only thing. But I mean, that basically gets solved with a couple of hand warmers. So here's what I do with those side bits. Like if I keep getting these, because I don't want to stack it up too high, but I also want to leave that middle part so I can put a lot of stuff there. Because usually with the like smaller stuff, yeah, you can double up and go into these spots, but a lot of time they're just gonna go in that middle. So this one, I'd probably put these in the back if it fits. Maybe guys sideways. Pull up. Thought I had to go to the next pallet there. These are kind of weird. Usually you only get like 3 of these. Let's see if that works. But I mean, that's just the name of the game. It's basically just Jenga or Tetris. It's Tetris with a racing game, basically. Oh, yeah, I could definitely do that. I think I can do that on here too. Whatever. So yeah, Tetris with a racing game. That's pretty much the best way to put it. You know, everything after, once you get the stacking down, once you learn how to ride your jack, once you learn how to read ahead on the computer. So like if I look at it now and it says I'm going to 11, then I just say, okay, I'm gonna have to go all the way around. But if it said like 66, then I would hit that middle, just to save myself a little bit of extra time. But this is what I got. So right here, if I had the that setup where like I do on my T-board, it would be a little bit easier just to do this one, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's kind of big boxes, but it all works. So yeah, I think keeping parts level, keeping parts even, and making sure like one part of your pallet isn't going too high compared to the others. I mean, obviously you can't control, like sometimes the pallet, like, or I mean cut. Sometimes the order, it'll just force you to have like a weird stacking pattern, but that's just because it can't be perfect every time. But when it is, man, it's nice. So you basically just get a free run. You basically just get a free run where you go on an autopilot and you start talking to yourself for an hour. AKA right now. So that's cool. So yep, keeping it level. Looks like I might not get anything on that S board. Psych, I lied. Sometimes when you get a bulk, it just, you know, that's all you get for it, but you never know. This one I could probably just sneak in the middle, like all the way down. Oh, I lied. Forgot about that long piece in the middle, but we can eat it. Yeah, usually you want to, if you get small items, you just want to slide them down so you don't have to worry about them at all. Oh, nice. Alright, so this is really nice. This is a really easy order, at least for this S board so far. Usually for these you want to grab 2 at a time, but obviously they're not always like optimal for grabbing them 2 at a time, just because, you know, it's off in the back. But yeah, you basically just want to keep this variation or this kind of formula the whole time. Like, notice how I leave those these 2 spots up here. It's just because I can put bread there, and it just saves me, because usually you, like, you know, if you can't put down the bread, like, it's just gonna be bad. Like, your last couple aisles are just gonna suck. But for that for that spot, for this spot right here, like I said earlier, so you don't really want it to go to like have that one corner up the whole time, because you're just gonna go and everything's gonna keep shaking the whole time, and it's just gonna be annoying. Just to be frank, like, it's just annoying, and it looks even anyway. So boom. Yeah, I'd say this job is like 100% physical. But then after a couple months of doing it, usually the 3 months they give you to make rate, that's when it starts to become a little bit more mental. Because you just kind of say to yourself, like, all right, do I want to keep doing this, or like, that's just kind of how it goes. Like usually it's that seventh month period, I think, where people kind of make their decision if they're gonna stay or not. So it's either they leave and never look back, or they stay and they become really good at it. So that's probably the mental aspect. It's just like, you know, if you really want to, if you just want to keep doing it. Because, yeah, once you get it down and it just becomes a habit for you, it's easy. It's a piece of cake. Boom, look, so I kept these 2 spots open, now I can keep it like that. Right? So, you know, you just keep your front row and your back row, you just keep one of them open for just random items. You keep your middle open for random items. You keep 2 parts of it level. So one for your, this is gonna be annoying. One for your longer items and one for your shorter items, or your 10s. Oh, this is a good example right here. So when you get items like this, 2 of them equals a long one, right? So because they stick out a little bit, you're gonna put 3 down. See, like that. And then you just put the other one random, just wherever. Another big long 6 one. Just put it right on top of this one. These are a little annoying because, like, if they stick out too much, it messes up how you're gonna put those long ones down. But you just flip it sideways and you just make it work, basically. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but shoot. Trying to avoid the camera as much as possible. But see, look, I got a spot for the long ones, spot for the shorts. Short, long, easy, peasy, easy money. Because if you're stacking the same way every time, that means your rate's going to be the same every time. And if your rate's the same every time, and you're getting a 160, etc., and you're not taking 2 long breaks, yeah, you're gonna be killing it. Going to be killing it. Oh, here we go. Okay. So now we're starting to get some bread. It's a little early for it, but when you get a lot of bread, especially at the start, you don't really want to stack too much on it, just because the stuff after is like heavier than it. So I just like to put it in the spot that I made for it and stack it up. And now this spot becomes no man's land, which basically means I'm just gonna prioritize all the other spots around it. Like that. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna prioritize these spots instead, actually. No, but what I was gonna say was, I'm gonna prioritize the side bits of the middle and that empty corner, just because, like, those spots have been used for the purpose that they were intended to be used for. So now I get to move on to other things. So the plan has came together for that spot. Plus, it's also too early to go up too high on that one. But once you get to the end, it's kind of just like you're dining and dashing, you know? You just grab it, put it on, and you're trying to get to that end bit. Dine and dash. See, that back one is a little sketchy, but it's not tall at all, so it's like whatever. All right, here we go. Oh, and get a pick stick and don't lose it. All right, so that's stacking, going on autopilot, mental stuff, yada yada yada. Let's talk about another thing. This thing right here. Boom, I'm at my T pallet. Grab the item, put it down, keep moving. That's coasting. I don't think you can coast on the center riders, but coasting is an essential skill, I believe, because it makes things so much easier. Because instead of having to get on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off of those, I think they call it the arm breakers. Like, you're just hopping off, you're letting the jack move for you. It's nothing. It just saves you so much time, and it's so much easier. So I would recommend the center riders just for that reason, but don't take mine, because this one is my favorite. So don't take mine. But other than that, yeah, I'd say I'm a center rider guy. I started with them, so yep. I know people don't like them, but I do. And it makes it so that I basically can just chill the whole time. So I can just hop up, grab it, look up, turn around, and it's right there. So that's just my reason. Like, it also feels cool when you do a perfect coast. So take that as you will. What's the other one? Labeling. Get used to labeling, and get used to doing it with one hand. Like, as what I mean by that is, like, you can label. I think they've been able to do it up to 6 labels on one hand. But that's pretty hard. So I'd say start with, I mean, well, I guess this is for everybody, but like, try and be able to do at least 4. So like, if you grab them with one and you hold them like that, and then label without it getting caught. But that'll save you so much time. That'll be so nice. Because then, yeah, you'll be coasting the whole time. Or just be like, hop off, label, place it, or place it then label, and then you're on your jack again, and you're just going. That's the way it should be done, and that's how you max out. I think that's about it. Like obviously we'll get to see how it looks later. But see, like I'm getting more bread, it's going on my R. I'm just gonna keep stacking it. And I'm gonna get another one, so I don't know, maybe I'll put it on the side. Oh, I went a little too far. Too far looking where I was gonna put it. Cause yeah, usually you don't have to worry about it getting too tall, but you don't want it to be very, very tall. I think this will work right here. This is just for my warehouse, but once we get to this like middle thing with like this machine that like sorts stuff, that's what like I'd like to call phase 2 of the operation here. And yeah, this is where bread starts to become the main item. Usually like bread, smaller items, more bread, bagels, etc. Sometimes you get a bunch of like pies. I don't know. I just look at the shapes. I just look at the shapes and I stack accordingly. So this one, boom. That back corner is getting too big. I'm gonna put it in the middle. This one also should be in the middle. And I'll put this here. You don't have to restack, but you know, sometimes you just want it to look nice. And you want it to make sense because you'll get another item. You'll be like, oh, perfect. So I probably wouldn't put any more bread on that. I'd probably start stacking up the back section that I had prepared. Also would get off this piece of wood on the floor. But yeah, I'd start stacking up the back. Just because even if you stack as one that goes like that, you can still do the big fat ones on right on top of it. So it's not that big of a deal. That box sucks. Like that box is just annoying. I kind of think for that one I'd put it on its side. I'd put it on its side and then in the back corner. So like right there. But I'll just keep going in the middle. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna need that. I feel like I'm gonna need that back section. Like I'm gonna get a million trillion long items that are just gonna go right there. And if I don't have it, I'm gonna be crying. And my thing's not gonna scan. And I'm gonna go crazy in the freezer. But yeah, this middle one, the S board, really nice, really easy. Even the front one was pretty easy. Like this was just a solid run. Go, we got 2 that's gonna make up for the back one. So like this, okay, we'll cooperate. Boom. So here you can hit the middle, They put these items in the crossover lane, so you kind of just have to like hold your breath or be perfect and just kind of sneak your way in right here. And even the one to my left is kind of messing me up, but we'll see if I hit the back wall. No, but regardless, even if that took longer-ish to do that, like one, it's worth it because your pallet doesn't go down, and two, that's still much better than driving all the way around. So, yep. So look at that, use the other spots for that. This can just go in the middle. Really doesn't matter. Like, I usually like to see what happens on the next two aisles, because that's where you get a lot. Plus, let's see, I got a bulk and it's on S. So I think maybe could have done the S a little bit smarter, because it's gonna be bread, I'm assuming. I just assume it's always bread at the end, but it's really no big deal. Like, it's still gonna work regardless. But we'll see when we get there. And so we got 8 on S as well, so decent amount. Yeah, I am. Thanks, man. I thought I was going to be stuck there for a while. So that's usually one where you get like 1 million of those. You get 1 million trillion of those. And guess what? The way that I'm stacking right now works for that too. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? There we go. So boom, we got 2 of them. One in the back. That piece in the middle kind of messes it up a tiny bit. Just hit it a couple of times and it will cooperate. I feel like there's something on my hand. Like a label gets stuck. All right. Dude, we are cooking on this one. Like, this is a great run. I'm excited to see what I'm gonna get on this one. But then again, I did have to get it all set up, so we'll see. But yeah, that's coasting. That was coasting right there. Coasting, labeling, stacking. Is there anything else? Gear. I mean, obviously it's the freezer, it's 0 degrees. So you want something that's going to be warm. Probably something to listen to if your warehouse allows it. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, this is the bulk, by the way. I thought it was going to be bread, and then I was going to do, you can usually put 5 of them on a stack. So I was going to do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, going the long ways. but there's no need for it. Just got these, so just fill up the spots and carry on. So here's how you do 5, like that. Obviously it's harder to label as you go further across, but yep, I'll just do these. Sorry to fix it. All right, 3 more. Label ripped in half, so it's good. Hand warmers is a must. Yeah, hand warmers. That's about it. I mean, make sure you get a good jack. Make sure your printer works. Make sure your scanner works, because like a lot of times, or I'll just say this: when I first started out, I had a printer, or I had a computer that when you pressed it down, it like didn't really register that you were pressing it down. So in order to do it, like you really had to press that, and like so hard that it would basically break your fingernail. So you just, I mean, when I switched over after getting like a bum printer, and then I got a good one, or I got a good computer, like everything changed for me, and it just became so easy. Like I think my percent shot up probably around, I want to say like 30%, just off of having a bad printer or a bad button. Not even like the scanner or the thing itself. It was literally just that button that was like messing me up the whole time. So really glad I fixed that, or else I'd be pissed, because you're supposed to just whoop, and then it prints. Nice. I got a 465. So yeah, quick recap. I'll add a couple things too. The ones that fit 10 on a pallet, do those 5 in the front, so 3 going normally, or like straight across, 2 in the middle going sideways, long ones in the back, or set up the 10s in like a 2x2 square in order to fit long ones and middle ones. Okay? Random stuff in the middle. Bread boxes in the even spots. Bread boxes in the even. Double up on the back if you can. Long ones in the back. You can also double up in the front. I didn't get any of this one, but just whatever. Oh, actually I did. You can double up in the front like what I did on the C pallet. If it's skinny enough. Anything you don't know in the middle. Hand warmers, good gloves, good jacket. Carry a knife, just to make your life a lot easier. Good jack, good equipment, coasting. Learn how to coast. When you're going full speed and you hop off, you should have it coast to your keyboard. You'll just get the feel of it to do R and S. label on one hand. Just get used to grabbing it off the printer. And then label all with one hand. Try and do 4, but try and get up to 5. I don't know, honestly, just keep it simple. Get used to it, get the reps in. Make it so that it goes autopilot mode, that you're just doing it on instinct. Because that's when you start making more money, that's when it starts to get fun. That's when you can start recording training videos. It just becomes so much easier. So, who knows, I might record another one of these, but it was pretty fun. All right, peace.